Hello everybody, welcome to South Florida Redemption. It's your host Andrew again. I'm here doing a deck tech on one of my own personal casual decks. This is like more of a fun one. You guys have probably already seen videos on it on YouTube. The name of this deck is called Whiteout. It's a defenseless deck, so yes, it has no defense. I wouldn't say it's a speed deck. It's not like a traditional speed deck, but it does play out, and it function the way that it functions. It is kind of fast, I guess you can say, but not like traditionally. And I'll break it down for you to explain to you why it works in such a way. So the way that Whiteout works is, well, actually let me just start with the Lost Souls. The Lost Souls, there's 8 of them. Because I have the Hopper, as you can see all the way to the left, the Revealer, the one Lost Soul that's protected from rescue the first round, the Shuffler, and then the other type of Shuffler from Disciples, female only, New Testament only, and then the one Lost Soul if it gets rescued by an angel, it shuffles one away. So all the Lost Souls here are they're hard to get, or if you do get them, it makes it hard for you to get the other Lost Souls. Mainly because, you know, the deck has no defense, so it has to stall as much as possible. I guess you can say it's got like a hint of beatdown with these characters right here. You see the Elders of Jerusalem, and then Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, 2 3-way banding chains in the deck, as well as I have Enoch and Covenant Keepers. And the deck really exploits the banding tech in here, because there are artifacts and covenants within the deck that beef up the characters relatively quickly. So well, what you would do with the deck is you'd play your characters, you get the big combo chain to work, you'd rescue attempt, and then you have your enhancements here, Undefiled, Blessing, Burning Bush, Symbols of the Levites, which are kind of like your control a little bit, and then Words of Encouragement and Love at First Sight. The way with Love at First Sight with the deck, you want to select your opponent to shuffle their hand and draw a new hand. This way the chances of them drawing Lost Souls are more in your favor, because you really have to be aggressive with this deck. You have to rescue attempt as much as you can. And then some of the other enhancements: Unbowed, Benedictus, Fellowship, and Praise. Fellowship and Praise is mainly to get some big banding chains going on, surprise your opponent, and Benedictus is mainly to have like access to sites, because one of the flaws with the deck is site access. So it has Benedictus, and for sites it also has Dragon Raid and Ends of the Earth, because the deck has both New Testament and Old Testament characters. The Elders of Jerusalem are New Testament, and then the rest of the guys are pretty much Old Testament. The Covenant Keepers, don't underestimate this guy in the deck. He is really good because he searches for covenants. So I'll go to my covenants over here, and the covenants that I have are Covenant of Salt, I Am Patience; Covenant with David, I Am Salvation; and then of course Book of the Covenant. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to get the Book of the, what's ideal, I mean, is get Book of the Covenant activated on Solomon's Temple, and activate 2 more covenants, such as Covenant of Salt, and I don't know, maybe I Am Patience, or a Covenant of David. You know, Covenant of David is to make sure that no one plays household idols, because household idols would wreck the deck. You really need to hold on to your banding chains as long as you can with that. But if you have the Book of the Covenant active on your Solomon's Temple with Covenant of Salt and your Elisha's Mantle, depending on the type of characters you have in play or in battle, let's say you have the Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego banding chain, they'd all pretty much get +4/+4, each and every one of them. So there's going to be like an additional +12/+12 to battle, which would make a huge difference when you rescue attempt. Now with the dominance, the deck has a lot of dominance. It's got 10, 5 evil and 5 good. For evil, we have Burial, Destruction of Nahahustan, Mayhem, Christian Martyr, Falling Away, and the good dominants are Harvest Time, Angel of the Lord, Guardian of Your Souls, New Jerusalem, and Son of God. Because, again, the deck does not have a defense, so you need the Falling Away to help you defensive-wise to stall your opponent, and Guardian of Your Souls because you don't want to get Falling Away either, because you need to win as fast as possible with this deck because it has no defense. And the Harvest Time is mainly to be able to provide you with a rescue attempt, which is another reason why the Hopper Lost Soul, all the way to the left there you see, is in the deck, because you need to rescue attempt often, very often with the deck. And then, you have Burial Shroud here to stall your opponent if need be, because, no defense, once again. And as far as artifacts, their artifacts here are mainly very resourceful. You can have more than one use out of them. Each, say we have Ark of the Covenant, 30 pieces of silver, and Holy Grail. Each of those artifacts can be used twice. And then you have Unholy Writ. Now these artifacts mainly are for defensive purposes. The Holy Grail is to convert the evil characters in your opponent's territory, so you can go in and rescue attempt successfully. And the Ark of the Covenant and 30 pieces of silver is just to clear out threats on the board, just to help your defense, help the offense, because the deck needs to carry out and enforce its will relatively quickly. Such as I Am Salvation. I guess I should put in that pile that I just showed you earlier, because it pretty much serves the purpose with those other artifacts. But it is a covenant, so that's why I have it sorted over here. So that's the general idea of the deck. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention, the Mayhem. The Mayhem is also in there. That's meant to help you with a rescue attempt. You play the Mayhem, and the odds of them drawing a Lost Soul is more in your favor. So there's that element in there of a few cards to kind of increase the rate of your opponent drawing Lost Souls, such as the Harvest Time, the Mayhem, the Revealer Lost Soul, the Hopper Lost Soul, things like that. Because the deck needs little elements like that just to function together. If you want to build a deck, go ahead and do it if you like. If you have the cards, there's videos on YouTube of me playing some of my friends with the deck, so you can see how it plays out. And it's a good deck. It wins majority of the time, but the deck does not win late game. It just absolutely doesn't, because it gasses out, it runs out of cards, it goes through cards quickly. Plus, one thing, just to let you know, this is a 50 card deck. It's not 56. It's 50 cards. So it's meant to get all its resources in a short amount of time. Because, it's not designed to last late game. It's designed to win very early in the game, and fast and rapid and aggressive. That's why it's called Whiteout. Just to wipe everything out and leave it in white. Alright, well that's it, and all the glory be to God.